What's up, everybody? Welcome back to DapeachTV. Today is episode 8 of Motivation Mondays, and Motivation Mondays is a series that I do here live on Twitch every single week, where I bring on a new streamer from different categories, different genres, and sometimes even different creators. And last week we even had an organization owner, someone who runs an esports and media org. So we might have all kinds of cool people on here, and I bring them on to interview them, learn about their successes, their struggles, all within the streaming and content creation space. So to, inspire you, to motivate you, to educate you, and give you guys, something to relate to if you guys are feeling alone in some of those struggles. And tonight I have someone who I've met, fairly recently through a group of friends, and I'm very excited to have her here. And let me introduce her. Her name is Sweets. She is a streamer and cosplayer that does play a lot of Fortnite, but also a lot of community-focused streams, some Fall Guys, but is usually hanging out and just chatting, like this weekend when she made attempted a gingerbread house build. I mean, it came out pretty good. It came out really good. But seeing so much success from her TikTok with over 16,000 followers and counting, Sweets has grown her Twitch to almost 4,000 followers from that, and see some great viewership, especially since she only streams 1 to 2 times a week, which is, it is great to see that kind of viewership. So I'm super excited to know more about Sweets and how she's become so successful and maintains that amazing growth. So Sweets, welcome to Motivation Mondays. Thank you for joining us. I really, really appreciate it.
Hello. It's nice to be here.
Awesome.
What an intro. Thank you. I was a little worried because you had said that you had an esports org before me, and I was like, that's the act I have to follow up? Are you kidding me? All I do is play Fortnite. No. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, it was actually cool to hear from an esports guy because, well, he had a crew of 24 streamers, behind him. Wow. So, and including himself, who he does stream. So it was nice to hear from kind of like a group, representing a group of people, right? But getting into the weeds with you is it's a little bit more. It's different, It's different.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is. It's different. We do different things.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
excited for it.
Yeah, cool, awesome. I mean, let's get to the basics. Start at the beginning. I mean, like, how long have you been on Twitch? Like, have you been streaming? Have you been watching Twitch as long as you've been a streamer? Like,
No.
Tell us about your journey.
Okay, so probably started around COVID. I think a lot of journeys started around COVID time.
Yeah.
My dad had just recently got divorced, and so every Sunday I would go to his house. And because we used to go to church on Sundays, but that was more of like my mom's kind of side thing. So to keep him company on Sundays, we would just watch YouTube together most of the morning. But we kept watching SS Sniper Wolf, and he goes, "You could do this. You are so similar to her in just certain aspects. She has way more confidence than me, but but."
It comes.
Yes, exactly. I've been a gamer since I was a wee kid. So I had 2 older brothers, so I didn't really have like dolls to play with or anything. I had video games to play with. So
nice.
So it was just a natural integration. And I had seen Twitch before. I don't know if I had watched like kind of not the right streamers, but I was like, this is kind of boring. I don't know if anyone I don't understand what the viewers are looking for here. But I realized later on, it's like you have to find the right streamer, I guess.
Yeah. Very true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. So then, I mean, so wait. We got to back up here. So since you've been playing games as a kid, what was the first game that you remember playing?
Oh my God, you're gonna age me. Don't ask me that question. Just kidding. The first game I remember playing was on Super Nintendo, and I was playing Street Fighter.
Oh my
Street
God,
Fighter,
nice.
And I was Chun-Li.
The best.
Yes.
I love that. I love
something
when Chun-Li
about
came
those
in.
Kicks.
Yeah, seriously. Did you get the Fortnite skin when she came in the Fortnite store?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's one of the cosplays on my list too. So.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah. I'm excited for. I mean, I've been keeping tabs on the Street Fighter series, and there's a new one the Street Fighter 6 coming out, so I'm excited to see.
I'm really excited about. Isn't that the one that's kind of like open world? You can do community with that too. So I might be doing some community customs with that. I'm like have that on my list of things to do.
Definitely, that'll be super fun. But yeah, man, Super Nintendo. My God, I played so much.
What was your
Super
first game?
I can't remember. I played computer games. I was playing The Sims. I was playing Super Mario. You know, I even remember playing Jeopardy on the Super Nintendo. Isn't that so weird?
You played. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, I remember playing that. I remember my family being into all kinds of trivia games and stuff like that. But Mortal Kombat, definitely a lot of Mortal Kombat too, more than Street Fighter. Yeah.
Your parents let you play that at a young age?
Yeah, you know, it's just catch up. It's not blood.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
So, okay, cool. So hanging out with dad on the weekends, he's telling you get into streaming. So like, what was the next steps for you? Like what, you know?
So, I ended up getting a PC. We built it. Nice. And then after that, I played Genshin Impact for 3 months straight and didn't even think about streaming.
Getting sucked in. I love it.
And then March came around. I'm like, okay, I think I'm done my Genshin Impact kick. And like, all right, I'm ready to delve in. But while I was doing Genshin Impact, there's one thing I did do. I was watching streams and I was learning that whole time. And I think learning and just stepping back was something that kind of gave me an advantage into what would probably work.
Yeah.
Instead of just going head first.
Yeah, it's rare that I'll come across somebody that's like, I've never watched a stream before, but I just started streaming. You know, I think you kind of got to be a little bit in that culture and see what it's about, you know?
Exactly.
Like, you can't be a YouTuber without watching YouTube, you know, it doesn't really work. Okay, cool. So you were addicted to Genshin Impact, which is very similar to Zelda. Which I play a lot of, so very, very cool. And then, so when you started streaming, were you playing Genshin Impact or did you start right away with Fortnite?
No, I started right away with Fortnite because my mindset was people liked shooters, and I don't know why I thought that. And I was like, I'm good at Fortnite. I can play this and I can talk. Yeah. So I could do two things very well that most people who play Fortnite can't really do the other. They have to stay focused and be in the game. I know the map usually so well that it's like I can communicate while playing and do pretty well at it. And I think that's like a strong suit I have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, for streaming, you need that, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
To be engaging with chat and stuff. Are you a mouse and keyboard or are you a controller player?
No, I used to play mouse and keyboard when I was like way young, but I just, you know, I had the computer taken out of my room and then I would stay up too late. And then so I would I ended up getting just like a PlayStation and just controller was just the gradual thing. I didn't know at first that you could use controller on PC. So I was like I was just going to get a console, honestly, but then was talked out of it.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, better performance and all that stuff going straight on PC. So, so now you're a controller player. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, we won't ever 1v1. I won't 1v1 you because, you know, you got aim assist and stuff. You're pretty much cheating at that point. So
that's what? That's it. All right. This interview's done. I'm leaving.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye. I mean, you know what? One of the biggest, I mean, he was Call of Duty. He plays a lot of Apex now, but Nick Merckx, he's a controller player. And anyway, I don't know how he has so much success as a controller player, but
he rides hard for a controller. All of his arguments I like stick in my back pocket because I'm like, if anyone says that about me, I'm just going to pull out a Nick Merckx quote. There you go.
You got Nick Merckx.
Yep.
I love that.
That's one of them, right? Everyone else is mouse and keyboard.
Pretty much. Oh man, that's too funny. Cool. So, I mean, when you got into it and you started going, getting comfortable with it, like what were your goals with streaming? Like dad said, like you could totally do this. Was it, you know, just to do it as a hobby, like Sunday night, Saturday nights type of thing? Or were you looking to say, hey, maybe I can go big at this and make some money?
I don't know, because also around that same time I had there was a former NFL player that was trying to build an org, and he had interviewed with me,
Okay.
and he wanted to sign me, but like in this contract, it was really ripping people off, which was
Okay.
unfortunate. So after that, I was like, well, maybe I'll just try to make it myself, but I don't know if I had like a real what is making it for me. And I think a lot of people don't really know. I think it's important to kind of know before getting into streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I think my goal right now is to get to maybe like 100 viewers, and that will be success for me. That would be more than enough for me.
Cool. I love
But
that.
yeah, before that, it was more like this is something I'm doing for fun, but I want to see more. I just didn't know what more was at the point at that time.
Sure. Yeah. But and when the NFL player like approached you, had you started streaming at that point? Like,
No, I had
how did
no
they find
streams.
you?
I had applied because I was a gamer, so they were just looking
Okay.
for gamers in general, like
Mm,
females and everything.
okay.
Um, and they liked the fact that I was Puerto Rican, so they were like,
Cool.
you're Puerto Rican. We want to sign someone that is that can represent the Latinas." And so I was like,
Sure.
yeah, sure. But it was unfortunate. It was a very good idea with just unfortunately poor execution.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like they might have been trying to take advantage of
Yeah.
new people coming in, right?
And yeah,
Um,
it was disappointing because that was my first like taste of the streaming world, and I was a little kind of like, wow, I hope everyone isn't like that, which they're not. So I'm happy I
yeah.
didn't get discouraged.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that you're not like alone in that. I feel like a
Hmm.
lot of the times when people start getting into the creation space, like with Instagram or Twitch, you come across these follow for follow situations, these hype groups, all kinds of like stuff like this, and you kind of get sucked in right at the beginning because you think, well, that's how everybody else is doing it. You know, wow,
And it's
I'm being a
not at all.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So I
It's
think that they're just going after like the young blood that might not know, So
right, right.
hopefully this whole my whole platform can help people get out of that and not get
Right.
caught, not get caught in that. So okay, cool. I didn't know that you were Puerto Rican. That's cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't look it. It's the blonde hair. I
yeah, I
dye it,
guess
so.
the only Latino artist I know is Bad Bunny from
Oh.
Puerto Rico.
Oh,
But
okay, okay.
yeah, I love the
Nice.
Latin music, Latin vibes for
Oh,
sure.
yeah?
Very cool, cool. Okay, so I mean, like you're focused with it right now, but it looks like your goal is to hit this and just be successful, like with these numbers. Are you
Right.
working right now?
I'm working 40 hours a week,
Okay,
uh, and that's why I can only stream a few times a week,
right.
which is, can get a little frustrating, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's navigating that, and yeah, we'll get more into that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, well,
Mm.
why do you say it's frustrating?
I think it's when you have a passion for something, um, when you can't do that thing as much and as abundantly as you want to, it can put a mental toll on you. And
Yeah,
it's like you come home from like a long day of work, and it's like
yeah,
you've been doing everything for everybody else at work, and you're like, where's the time where I can work on my passion? Where's the time when I can,
yeah.
put myself first and stream and do those things that I want to do to reach those goals that I want. And so that in itself can be just extremely frustrating.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I feel that. I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, good to hear that. I mean, I feel like for some people, like streaming is also it's very well, it's very taxing. It's
Mhm.
very energy, draining because you are giving, you are doing the
Yeah.
things for yourself as well. But there is a lot of giving. You're fully engaged in whatever game you're playing, engage in chat, having multiple conversations, whatever it is, But I totally get that feeling. And when I first started, I was like, all I want to do is stream. I remember even
Yeah.
moving. We moved from a small place into a house, and then I was like, I want to be streaming. Like, I don't
You
even have
get
my
this
setup
itch.
set up.
It's
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
It can start giving you
So
anxiety, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, my stuff isn't where it's supposed to be. So what am I supposed to be doing right now? Because I feel like there's this itch I can't scratch.
yeah.
And what do I do to fix that?
Yeah, exactly. And even with work, like I totally feel you on that. Like when you come home after and you're like, it's 8 o'clock and I need to have dinner. I need to take care of my stuff. But man, I want to stream. Like, I hate this, I think COVID was great for a lot of that, because working from home, it's like 5 o'clock, boom, you're done, you're home, and take care of things you could do. And then I think a lot of people started streaming during the pandemic, which I think is good.
It was funny last year when I had my stream anniversary. I think there was like 3 or 4 of my friends that started streaming almost either the same day or the same week I did. So it was just funny. It was interesting.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's good. I think that it's good that people are there to kind of provide a space for other people during that time. And now it's amazing to see that people are still going, keeping up with it, as much as they can. Now that COVID is over. Yeah. What do you like? What was your background? Like, what's your background in school or in work, or what did you study?
So I was in school for paralegal studies for a little. I realized that material was a little too dry for me. So I ended up picking up photography as a hobby and doing that. And then it just ended up kind of fitting right into my streaming life, which was really interesting. And then I work also, I've been an admin for 10 years. So that's just something I've always done, and it's just come naturally. But hobby wise, I was studying photography before this, and it was just kind of strange how everything just melded in together.
Yeah, I feel like everything always happens for a reason. That's always been my motto my whole life. Everything happens for a reason, and you start a hobby, you learn something, or you go down a path, and it just leads you there.
Yeah, it's nice.
What kind of photography were you doing?
So I was doing a lot of portraits, some landscapes, but then COVID happened, and then it was no one had the money to purchase portraits anymore, and then no one also had the money to travel, or they couldn't travel. So I'm there goes, what do I do now?
Yeah, I mean, at least you can keep 2 meters distance with the camera,
Right.
You don't need to be that close.
But everyone at that point thought okay, is this a life or death situation? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so they're do I need pictures right now of my family? Not really. I need to know where my next meal's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, cool. So, I mean, I'm assuming, did you use your camera for photography? Did you use it for your stream setup?
Yeah. So this is my A7 III. That's what I'm using right now. It's super nice. It blurs. Has nice bokeh in it.
Oh yeah, nice. Does it come back though? Does it come back?
Yeah, you're good. That's the way we're going to do the interview for the rest of the day, right?
Full blurry. Cool. So because that was my next question, was what do you feel are some of the factors or skills that you had before streaming that helped you be successful as a streamer today?
I was always also I had a thing for just web design and logos. When I was a kid, I'd make Sailor Moon websites. I was really dorky.
I love that. I love Sailor Moon.
I would make Sailor Moon websites, and they would have the really the MIDI music. I don't know if you remember what that was. And it was the cherry blossom GIFs as backgrounds. It was very for a kid, they were very theatrical Sailor Moon websites, but it was things like that I've done since I was a kid that it just again fits well with Twitch. It's everything that I've loved incorporated in one thing that I can just do all in one, in my room, which is I don't have to travel somewhere like photography. I don't have to go to school to learn something. It's all here. I can learn it here, and it's just nice. It's nice.
That's true. And I'm sure people are wondering, when you say Sailor Moon websites, plural, I mean, how many are we talking? 2 or 3, or 20 or 30? Listen,
you're asking really deep questions, and I don't know if I can reveal those secrets. People will hold this against me. Probably 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
All right, cool. So after this, you're going to send us those website links, and then I'll put them on the screen after.
Long gone.
Did you take screenshots at least to keep the memories, or no?
No, I wish I would have, though. My dad had helped me with one, but he wasn't as savvy with, what I wanted. I wanted the MIDI music, and he was I don't know how to put that on there.
Oh, man,
I'll figure it out.
That is hilarious. I love that. I think I made a few websites in
Did
my
you?
life, but yeah.
What kind? All right, if we're spilling the tech secrets, you're gonna have to tell me.
What did I do? One site was like I just needed like a bookmarks. Like bookmarks didn't exist back in the day,
Yeah.
I think. And so I just wanted like a place to have all my bookmarks. So I just made a website for all my like most recent things until Google Chrome came around and was like, yeah, we can do this for you, dude. I'm like, okay.
Gosh.
But I remember also
amazing.
making a website for like chemistry class or something. And then, because they were like, oh, you can make a video or you can, and I'm like, I don't want to like film myself or whatever, at the time. Now here I am on camera all the time, but, and
Isn't that funny
so
how
we made
that
a
works
website.
out?
Yeah,
Were you good
seriously.
at public speaking when you were younger?
I think so. Yeah. Like
You were?
I never like, when I would memorize like, the oral presentation in school, like
Yeah.
I felt like I always did bad. So I figured out a trick was to like do the research and write a couple of like tips, like not tips, but like
Like
points.
bullet points?
Yeah. And then I would just wing it. And I felt like I did good. So I think that's kind of what translates into streaming is like,
I envy you.
why you had to memorize everything?
No, I was just not good at public speaking. My
Oh,
anxiety,
yeah?
my face would get really red. And then one time I was reading something halfway and then I just froze and I kind of just like walked out of the classroom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was very embarrassing.
Oh God. I'm sure a lot of people can relate though. Public speaking is not easy. I think, I've been hearing that a lot of like introverted people are successful YouTubers and creators because you're not actually like talking to anybody.
No.
You're not like publicly speaking where everybody's like
No.
sitting in a room staring at you.
I did at one point, like in the beginning, become really self-conscious. And I still get that way from time to time. I never did it, but someone gave me really good advice that I want to share. They said,
Please.
put a stuffed animal on top of your camera and talk to the stuffed animal.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, that is genius. That is
Yeah,
such a good idea.
true.
I never did it, but if I ever feel that way again.
Yeah, it's a good tip. I think,
Mhm.
I think it would work for sure.
Yeah, I thought so.
Talk to your little friends, your little
Yes.
buddy instead of, worrying about who's on the other side.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very true. Good tip. Good tip. Cool. I like that. So that's funny that like you felt that you were not good at public speaking and now streaming on Twitch for like over a year, coming on 2 years soon.
Yeah.
How was that like for you? Do you like look back on that and you're like, damn, like I'm proud of myself?
I look back on it and honestly, I feel like as proud as I was, I think, I feel like back then I maybe was a little better at speaking. Only because, and I'll say this, only because when you're first starting out, you have to be the entertainment completely, right? You have to be
Right.
the person that asks the questions. You have to be the person that engages and tells the story. Now it's a bit easier because I can bounce off of people pretty nicely, but when
Right.
it was solely you, it's like you had to create everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny to watch other streamers in like the categories where there's only like one or two people watching because they seem to just talk and they're not talking to anyone, but they're
Right.
doing really well. And
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice to see that. But yeah, I still struggle with that.
I mean, I think it's normal, and I've said it a few times, but there's some streamers that have never streamed to 0 viewers, and I think that it's a good thing for everyone to stream to 0 viewers and have that experience because streaming is like it's not controllable, and you expect that when you're streaming that people are there because it's something that's live, you can't, you can watch it after the fact, right? Like a YouTube video, but generally a stream is for a live interaction, a live engagement, right? When you're filming a YouTube video, you're kind of creating something to share and put out there. Whereas when you're live, you're expecting something, but when you're first starting out, you get that experience of no one's there, and it's kind of cool because you could just do what you want, be who you want.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah.
But you kind of get that experience of having no one in chat and like even if chat is super quiet, but you have you have your viewers, you have the lurkers, whatever it is, you're feeling good and successful. Well, if there's no one in chat, it kind of feels like there's nobody there, right?
Right.
So you kind of go back into that mode. Whereas if you never stream to 0 viewers, then you're kind of like, you might start freaking out, like, where's everybody? What happened? What's going on?
Exactly.
Whereas when you have like a default state of that 0 viewers type of thing, then you can always fall back on that if chat ever does get quiet, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. I wanted to ask you about your name. Where does Sweets come from?
So it's derived from my real name.
Okay.
And it's what everyone's called me since I was a kid in high school. That's what they called me. Just growing up in the neighborhood, that's what they always called me. And I wanted something super cool because, like, it's always, it's very bubblegummy. And I'm a bubblegummy person, but then I get stuck into like this bubblegum box. Yeah. And people are like, no, but you're Sweets. You're supposed to have this persona of being nice and bubbly and like all is right with the world and cotton candy. And I'm not like that at all, really.
Okay, so you're toxic. Yeah. You're one of the toxic sweats on Fortnite. That's what you really are.
Sometimes
right?
I can get that way. I don't want to throw people off when they're like, wow, she wasn't very nice. Or like she said something out of character. I'm like, what was the character? This is who I am.
True. Cool. That's funny because my name's also based off my name, and that's what a nickname that I had ever since I was a kid too, so I think it's cool to just have the nickname that people are already normally calling you in your everyday life,
Exactly. It just fits. It feels like home.
Cool. I love that. So I mean, when it comes to streaming, right, you started with Fortnite, you do some community stuff. What's like your favorite part of streaming? Like, what keeps you coming back?
Good question. So I was struggling with this recently because I was going through so much burnout that I was like, why do I want to come back? Because I had hit some pretty decent numbers and I'm like noticing that things are falling, and that's a punch in the gut. It's like, oh, things are falling. Why? It's like, and then it just like slows you down even more.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do I do this? Why did I start? And then I had always been, it sounds like, sometimes I hate to say it because it sounds very pageant, but it is what the real reason was at first. One, I love gaming, right? It's something I've always done. It's my escape. It silences my head. But it wasn't doing that anymore either. But I did, when I first started streaming, I really enjoyed being the person that people could go to when they don't have someone to ask how their day was. And that was always one of the things that I loved about streaming. I loved that about streaming, and I still do. And there's a lot of lonely people in the world. And I thought that, I wanted to be the person that could be there for people that don't have someone to ask how their day was. And, when chat picks up, I don't get to do that as much anymore. And so now that things are slowing back down, but I can do that again more, and I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of the people that stay around. I think that's it's not that I would take it for granted, but I think I was just constantly going that, like, I didn't get to have that repertoire with people anymore, and I'm glad I'm back to that.
I love that. I think that's super important, being live, like I said earlier, it's like you can't expect everybody to always be there, right? And you can have thousands of followers and not thousands of viewers, and sometimes you like scratch your head and you're like, how does that work? How does that math?
Right.
But it's just the nature of things and how things go, right? And everybody kind of needs to understand that. And what's kind of funny is, I'll come back, but it's kind of the opposite on YouTube. I noticed that people have less subscribers than the views they get on their YouTube videos for the most part, whereas on Twitch, it's a little bit of the opposite. But I think it's such a nice thing to be able to connect with the people that are coming into your streams. And I think that even the streamers themselves, I don't know firsthand, but I have a feeling that even if you have thousands of viewers and your chat is just flowing, I feel like you kind of feel a little bit alone in a way, because you're not talking to individual people anymore. You're just talking to chat. You're talking to one person named Chat.
Right.
Kind of,
I think I was talking to Mist and Locke about this at one point, because I was getting around almost close to partner numbers with community nights. And so I was like, I'm going to keep doing community nights if this is going to get me to partner. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it then.
Sure.
Bad idea. Don't do
Yeah.
that, guys. Don't do that. I'll tell you why. Because you lose the connection with people, like you were saying. And people, the more people that are in your chat, like there's like a revolving door, and I feel like more people are more inclined to say things that they wouldn't really say if they knew you like one-on-one. And so I was running into people kind of saying really not so nice things, and then just like losing the interaction with people, and I just felt like a machine at that point. And then that's another reason why, and then the game started to die out. So it's like, okay, the game's dying out, I'm not having as much fun, the interaction's gone, and then like that's when things started to regress, and I was like, what did I do? I made a mistake.
Right.
I focused too much on community, and it's like I have to rebuild who I am again. And that's, I think, super important for people who, okay, you may see certain numbers in community or giveaways or donos or just charity events. Those things are great, but to do them over and over again is really going to hurt you in the long run.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted to emphasize that definitely in this.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that you need to be doing stuff that you enjoy for the most part, and I mean, everybody's situation could be different, right? Like in your case, it could have been that just the game was dying, and maybe you think that maybe you're taking it personally, right? And saying maybe there's a mistake that you were doing, but maybe not, right? Maybe it's just the game was going down, and it's like sometimes that does happen. And I've seen, I've seen a lot of streamers that a new game will pop up, they'll be popping off, views up the wazoo, and then a few months later, sadly, they're just down, and it's like, they're great. They changed nothing. They changed nothing. They're streaming the same amount. The energy is the same. Everything's the exact same. And it's like, it's just nobody's playing that game anymore. So they're not really that interested or invested, right? But the people that they did find and that they did build a nice community with, they stick around and they stay.
They stick around, and it's so funny. It's the ones that are sticking around are the ones that were with me in the very beginning. And I'm like, it's so weird. It's just a very strange kind of thing I noticed. And I was like, wow, they have been here forever and they never left. And it just gives me this like, I love you guys. I just I VIP'd like all of them, and
you seriously make friends, deep connections, friends even for life, It's like it's, I don't know, it's unlike any other thing. I feel like YouTube versus streaming, you don't get that kind of interaction. You don't get that. You don't really build those friendships, right?
No.
Whereas,
which has culture, yeah.
I mean, I think it's even just the live factor. That you get to see people coming back, and you get to engage with them and learn more about them every single time, and they learn more about you. And I think that's why these people stay, is because they learn more about you and they connect with you and they say, oh, this person's cool. Like, I don't really care what game they're playing. Even if the game is dead, they're loving it. Like, I don't care. I just want to hang out with them now. Like, we're friends, right? So
it's when people start coming back for just you, no matter what you're playing. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something.
Exactly.
Right. Actually, it's really funny you say that. I just had one of my oldest viewers go into my Discord and post a picture of his baby recently. And I was just like, just the fact that he thought to use my Discord for that and was super proud to show that to us was just, it like really touched me.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I love that. Yeah, sharing like super personal stuff like that, like a photo of your little baby, like that's so sweet. I don't even get pictures of babies, at work. You know what I mean? Of like coworkers, they don't want to show, and then wow, that's super sweet. I love that. I think those are the moments that it's like, this is like worth it. Like this is awesome stuff we're doing here. You know what I mean? What is something that, is there something that you reward yourself with when you've, you know, hit a milestone, when you've done something that you've like done some hard work? Like, do you reward yourself after, like, okay, once I hit, you know, X number of followers or viewers or whatever it is, like I'm going to upgrade that microphone, that camera, or buy
Well,
myself a nice dinner or something?
I usually I splurge too much on myself. I'll show you what I just bought. I just bought this.
Oh, nice. I
Oh
was going
God,
to
so
ask.
yes,
Nice.
yes, I just bought that. But
And
I don't usually buy something for myself at milestones. I do for my milestones. Will smash cake in my face, and I do that on stream for everybody.
nice.
So every time I hit like 1,000. So I'm about to hit 4K soon. So I will have a cake smash at the end. We'll have a party, and then
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I hate it though. It like clogs up your nose. There's sugar everywhere. It
Jeez.
breaks you out for a week. It's great.
Oh God. Oh God. Maybe you know, next time we think of something else.
I
You know?
tried last time. They're like, no, it's tradition, and I'm like, okay.
Oh God.
What
Those
have I done?
milestones got to start increasing though. Once you hit 5K, then you gotta go to 10K.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
10K. I think
Come
that's
on,
what I
please.
might do.
Oh boy, and how's the new Stream Deck Plus?
The
Are you
Stream
liking
Deck's
it?
amazing. I like the fact that you can stack. You can stack on the dial, so I can like put the volume on like my Google Chrome, and then on
Okay.
the same dial, I can add my music on my Spotify, and I can just like switch it up and down. It's nice. I like
That's
it. I
cool.
like it.
Cool.
Highly
And you have
recommend it.
you have a regular Stream Deck too?
Yeah, I have a regular Stream Deck, so it just adds more buttons to my life. I don't think there's enough buttons
Yeah.
on this thing.
Yeah, I
That's the only
agree.
thing I'd complain about.
Which one do you have? The 15 button
Um,
or the small one, the 6?
the small one, that small one.
Okay. Because there's 3 sizes. There's small, medium, and
Yeah.
large.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Just
show you.
count them.
This is my small guy.
Okay, yeah, that's the 15.
I just redid everything.
Buttons. Yeah, yeah. Nice. That one too is the one I got, and I'm like, man, it's way too small. You know,
Yeah, it's
you
a
gotta
shame.
get the big one. But it's part of it. It's part of being a streamer.
Yeah.
Cool. What is the, you know, we were talking a little bit about kind of the, you know, some negatives and stuff. What is, continuing down that path, what is the hardest part of streaming for you, and like how have you solved that, or what do you do to make it easier?
So there's a few things I struggle with that I've been noticing. I have ADHD, so I struggle with just remembering things that, like, before stream, all of a sudden I'll remember a million things that I had to do. So like all these alerts that I had to fix or whatever, I had probably ample time to do it the day before, but instead I was working on other things that I completely forgot about. So for
Sure.
me, it's just like that struggle of trying to remember all the things I need to do. Also, um, mentally, it's it's can be difficult to be a streamer. I think it's you have to understand that it's just things fluctuate. It's broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what that is in general. Your numbers are going to fluctuate, just like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever news station you watch, their numbers fluctuate. They won't tell you that, but it's
Right.
true. That's why they always try to pick up the really awful stories so that their numbers go up.
True.
uh,
Yeah.
but it's trying not to get into the mindset of, you know, numbers. And the way I combated that recently was I haven't been looking at my numbers at all this month. I know they're down, but I'm gonna look at them as a whole at the end of the month,
Nice.
and I think that's gonna be a lot more beneficial. And just like it was such a difficult thing once hosts and hosts were gone on Twitch, because that was a lot of what was bringing in a lot of people for me. And so for me, I was like, hey, where do I get these numbers from? Like, where do
Mm-hmm.
I, you know, the door's ever revolving. How do I
Right.
replenish those people? Because they're gone now. I can't, like, I'm not,
Yeah.
unless I'm paying for, you know, myself to get a hype train, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to be put out.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I have to think outside the box, or I just have to work harder. I have to go on TikTok. I have to do TikTok lives. I have to push people to my Twitch if that's what I want to do. But I
Yeah.
also want to make sure that, you know, I'm not, if there's other streaming platforms, I want to, you know, try to see what everything can, like, everyone can offer. So it's a lot of trial and error, but if it's an error, you will learn something. So I think
True.
that's what's super important.
Yeah, I don't think that we really make mistakes in general. I think we
Yeah.
just learn lessons and it gets applied later down the line, you know?
Right,
Like
right.
when I first started, like, let's call it my content creation journey, which was like probably 6, 7 years ago at this point, you know, I was
Was it
filming
really?
stuff. Yeah. I mean, I was filming
What was
stuff
your
on
first thing?
YouTube. I started filming on YouTube. I was doing like vlogs type of stuff,
Okay.
and just trying different things out, you know. And then I was
Right.
on Instagram. I was doing like travel stuff. I brought my camera. We were in Thailand for like 2 months, and I was just taking pictures. Went to Mexico and taking all kinds of beautiful pictures and just posting them. And I don't know, we were really into like the travel stuff. So we're doing a lot of that, and I was just trying all kinds of different stuff, you know. And I was always into video editing. I always loved that. Even when I was in high school, we had to do a video project and actually film a movie. And like I acted in it, and I had to write it, part of it, and then it was in French too, which was horrible, you
Oh
know. But
no.
yeah,
So do you speak French fluently?
I'd like to think so.
Okay, all right. I'm not
Yeah,
going to put you
yeah.
on the spot because I know how it feels when people ask you to speak, a different language, and you're like, I know it, but I don't want to say it right now. It gets you a
Yeah,
little shy.
yeah. Yeah, well, here in Montreal, I mean, the schools are like half English, half French. So you learn a lot of the French if
Okay.
you're not already in a fully French school.
Okay.
But then I'm half Italian, half Greek as well. So I know a little bit of
Oh,
Italian, a bit of Greek, and then I know a lot more Spanish than Italian and Greek because I've always loved like the
look at
language, the
you.
culture. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Anyway,
I'm
so
impressed.
thanks. So yeah, like video editing and like content creation has always kind of been part of me. And even as a kid, like when my dad would go around the table with the video camera at like Christmas or something, I would always jump up and be like, hey everybody, it's Christmas and it's this day and this is who we're with. You know, I was always like the little news reporter, you know, and it was like this running
You
gag
love the
in the
camera.
family. Yeah, I guess I did, right? So and even video editing later on, like I was doing random edits, like I said, for like my first YouTube channel, and like it sucked, right? It sucked, but like it wasn't like a mistake. It didn't like, yeah, the YouTube channel like failed or whatever, but I mean, I didn't pursue it. I made like 8 videos. So like, it's not like I'm at 100. So like you learn how to video edit. And now that I'm editing for TikTok and for, my Stream Tips YouTube and even the gaming YouTube channel, like it just comes so easy and naturally, right? So I think
Right.
that all these little mistakes are definitely lessons that we learn, Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You
I didn't
said
know that.
trying new things earlier,
Hmm.
and I want to
Yeah.
come back to that. You said
Yes.
like different streaming platforms. So
Mhm.
have you tried streaming on YouTube?
I haven't yet, and that's my next thing. So
Okay.
right now I'm in the TikTok world constantly. I feel like is like that's my main focus, and but I know that, okay, things can change like the drop of the hat, and you
Yeah.
have to be able to adjust and like pivot as quickly as you can. So I'm like, okay, my TikTok lives got banned recently for absolutely nothing. They gave me a general ban for one that they reversed pretty quickly the next day, and then I got one for harassment, which was not anything I was even close to
It was
doing.
the toxic, sweaty Fortnite player
It
that was
I
coming out.
wasn't though. I was talking to one of my friends on stream, and I think all I said was, "Come on, BD, you have to get your marble quicker than that," or something like that. And I got in trouble for harassment. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
so I was banned for like, a week, and I was like, all right,
Yikes.
if this happens to take my entire TikTok down, which is I
Hmm.
think I hit 17K today. It's like,
Nice.
what do I do? It's I besides sob, I'll sob for probably like a day. I'm going to give myself that. But what do I do after that? I have to have some sort of backup plan. So
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what that is. And like maybe it is YouTube. Maybe it is just like a different platform, but I'm always going to stick on Twitch, I think. But because Twitch I love the culture on Twitch. There's nothing like the chat on Twitch. There's nothing like the people on Twitch.
Sure.
As much as I love TikTok, it's like they're a very different audience. They
Yeah.
are very I can do well on TikTok lives because I know how to keep them there. I do it with like incentives. Like I'm like, if you like my TikTok live, I'll play in like an inflatable shark outfit, and I'll like play Fortnite in my inflatable shark outfit after like
Nice.
we get to a certain, but they want something for their time.
Right.
Where Twitch is like very like they just want to watch you for you. TikTok is like, okay, no, like I'm here. What are you gonna give me?
Entertain me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance monkey. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But are you posting a lot of stuff that you post on TikTok over on your YouTube, like YouTube Shorts?
Once in a while I will. I've got a lot of hate comments on YouTube, so I don't understand. Someone had even told me this isn't the kind of content people on YouTube want. And I was like, okay, well, I can get that. I can understand that. But then the next day I posted something and I got 5K on a reel. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to, again, what I do when I don't understand what a platform is I'll take sometimes a little too long. I think like a month or so to kind of understand what is popular on there. Like for TikTok especially, I had no idea. It wasn't until I started my TikTok that my Twitch kind of gained, and that was because I had I started a TikTok account and I was liking things that I thought were something that I would want to see, and then I'd keep getting fed that, and then after a while it's like, okay, I think I know what to post on here and I know what hashtags to use. My first video got like 5K, and then
Nice.
I gained 200 off of that, and from that 200 I gained a pretty decent community. So it's like,
Nice.
if you don't know what the platform is, just take your time. There's no rush. Just like make sure that you wait, see what's popular, engage and around you, see what you like to see, write that stuff down, and then like start.
True. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I see what you mean about like the YouTube and TikTok having different worlds almost, even with Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even Instagram, like, you know, some stuff just it does weird, and I see it all the time, even like on Twitter. I think it was even this week I saw someone saying like, I posted this on TikTok, got 50,000. I posted on YouTube, it gets like 100. You
They're
post it
all
on
different
Instagram,
audiences.
you know,
They're all
it's
different.
weird. But I
They're
think that
different beehives.
yeah, but I think that the algorithms too are not sure of what you're doing and what's going on, right? So like you also need to feed it a little bit to
Right.
teach it, right? And that's what helps with like the hashtags and stuff. So like on YouTube Shorts, even me too, like I get hate comments. I've seen all kinds of hate comments, you know, like
Right.
like I just started the Stream Tips channel over on YouTube when it was already doing well on TikTok, and like people coming to me on Twitch and we're chatting and stuff like that. And I even to this day I get comments like, "Oh yeah, you're what are you gonna do with your 20 subs?" You know, it's like, bro, I just started my account. Like, do you not understand that
Yeah.
I'm on Twitch, I'm on TikTok, like things like hello, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get those comments a lot on Instagram, and they're like pretty much the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
like, you have this many, like, what do you think yourself? I don't think that at
Yeah.
all, but I am trying to manifest something out of this.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, we all have to start somewhere, number one. And number two,
Right.
every time you click on that person's profile, they have like 0 followers. So it's like,
Or
who are you?
yeah,
You know?
their profile isn't even real, or
Mhm.
like their icons are just like something that isn't even, it's like an anime character or something.
Yeah, that's so true. But I think that I think the haters are the ones that they are just they're not successful themselves, right? Because you're never going to see a successful creator, like someone that you look up to, like a example, like in your situation, like you play a lot of Fortnite. You'll never, if you post a Fortnite clip, for example, you're never going to see a Fortnite streamer or creator come at you and be like, "What are you doing?" Because they were there,
not, right?
and they got that success, right? It's always going to be the ones that for me, I think that if they are judging others, it's because they judge themselves very harshly, and they just want to bring people down, you know. So I think we should take a lesson from you, which you did on your last Instagram post, which is respond to the bots, respond to the hate, you know, respond to the toxic, and just feed the engagement and get more, you know, just keep posting them.
Oh my gosh, I've always said that, and I didn't realize people were like, because you caught that, caught that, and everyone was laughing at me, and people laugh at it, but I just didn't realize, like, I guess how funny that was. Yeah,
I think it's good, you know?
Yeah,
why not? If we're gonna get engagement, even if it's hate, I just respond.
Always
you know?
respond
just
to it, yes.
You know, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate the criticism, whatever, you know. And at the end of the day, for anybody out there like listening, if you're getting criticism like that, like it's very hard not to fight and fire back, at these idiots, right, on the
Yeah.
internet, who would never say that to your face or to
No.
themselves or to their best friend, right? So just forget about them, right? Like, you need to care about the people. You need to care about what people think, but only from the people that you actually care about and that matter to you, right?
It can be
Don't listen
hard
to randoms.
sometimes. It can be hard sometimes. You'll feel like
Yeah.
that anger rise in you, and you're like, okay, this person is probably 12 years old.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, which banned on Twitch, by the way. If,
Exactly.
but I think that I think that for streaming, for content creation, when you're putting your face out there, I've never tried it with like no cam streaming or no cam content, but I think that when you put your face out there, the content is you. It's so
Right.
personal. It's so personal. It's like you're trying to build a community because and you want people to like you for you. And then
Right.
when you get those hate comments, it's like, dude, man, like that's a hit on me personally, right? Whereas if
Right.
it's just like your work or your thing, it's like it's not I don't know, it's not as personal. You know what I mean? Like when
Right.
you're putting yourself out there, it's completely different,
Your work is you, and
Yeah.
it just feels so much more personal when people critique it, or it's hard not to feel offended. It's so difficult
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess taking the high road is better, especially if long term, because you can get down these rabbit holes of getting into Twitch drama, Twitter drama,
Oh
stuff I
God,
didn't even
yeah.
realize existed, like when I first started on the platform, and I had heard stories before of just like people getting the drama. I'm like, what is that even about? That would
Yeah.
never be me, and it's easy to get sucked into, especially when like either friends are getting attacked or stuff like that. It's like you want to defend people, but in the long run, your Twitch stream is about you, so you have to pick and choose your battles carefully and
Mhm.
understand that sponsors are going to see that one day, or important people are going to see that one day, and is that someone that they're going to want to support or like put as the face of a brand or something like that. You have to think
True.
what really long term, and can be difficult, so
Yeah.
hard sometimes.
It is difficult. It's very difficult. But and like you said, and I think you touched on it for a quick second, that it's very mentally draining as well to get
Mhm.
into that battle, with a random person in the comments or something like that. Like if it really bugs you, just delete the comment, move on,
Yeah,
and just keep going. Like worry about it for 5 minutes and then move on. If someone's in your Twitch chat, just ban them, right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's something I've always said. It doesn't matter who the person is, doesn't matter how long they've been in your community. I know how hard it is, even if they've supported financially or with their time, like for so long, but they just cross the line and they know they're crossing the line. Unfortunately, you just got to get them out of there because that's your safe space, that's your
Mhm.
mental at stake, and for what at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
You're affected the most, right? So
And those
you
are the
can't.
hardest ones to get rid of too, because it really is, you build these connections with people, but if they are making you feel uncomfortable and it's like you see their name in stream and you're like, "Oh my god, they're back." That's a
Yeah.
sign, that's a red flag as to like, "Okay, I probably shouldn't keep this person around." If
Yeah.
also like if they're making other people feel uncomfortable, I notice like where I may feel like, I might be okay with it, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable, I'll keep them around. If other people are saying like, they'll tell you they're not comfortable. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, other people are uncomfortable and I need to protect my space now. And
Yeah.
it's that you people get mad and they get upset, but again, it will be better off in the long run.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself, your mental, and
Mhm.
and your community too, right?
Right.
Like you said, people are
Exactly.
coming in because they want to hang out with you. They want to save
Mhm.
space. And like you said, what I love is you want to be the person to ask, how's your day? And if this
Yeah.
person's not comfortable coming in chat anymore, coming in even just to lurk and hang out with you because of this
Yeah.
person that's disrupting, you can't let that one person ruin it for everyone.
No.
And if you're a streamer that actually is trying to grow, looking to become full time, looking to get sponsors, and make this like a full time thing, that's your business.
Mhm.
So you're not going to allow, if you were running a bakery and you got a guy coming in yelling at you, yelling at your staff, yelling at whatever it is, you're kicking them out. You're calling the cops. It's the same exact thing, right? So
Right.
you got to take it. You got to take it seriously, right?
Yeah. Thank God for my
For sure.
mods, though. My mods are they can take a beating, but
yeah, nice.
but we always side with the mods. The mods are amazing.
Definitely. Shout out to all the Twitch mods, all the
Yes.
stream mods out there. God, what would we do without them, for sure? Eh?
Exactly.
Oh my God. What's something that you see streamers like? What's a mistake that you see streamers consistently making that, you know, now that you can say something to all the streamers that you're always like, man, you know, if you do this one thing, it's gonna help you so much.
I think a lot of people don't utilize TikTok enough. I don't think people and unfortunately, I've been taught to never ask anything from anyone. So I teach myself everything. And people will try to help me. And honestly, like you were helping me with my camera yesterday, and I was like, "No, I think I got it. No, I was wrong, right? I was wrong." And I'm okay with saying that, but at the same time, it's due to the fact that I learn things all on my own. And I think being okay with getting help from people is really important, but also learning on your own. If you want to I think, you know, when it comes to like TikTok and stuff, you can ask advice from everybody. But get the like important information that you agree with from, you know, a variety of sources, and then like implement it. I feel like I don't know, we can kind of get stuck in thinking we know, or we don't want to learn. Learning is so important on Twitch. Things are changing. I feel like I have like a year of information that I need to catch up on because it's just been I've been go, and things change and things get
True.
updated, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden stuff doesn't work anymore, and you're like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm updating myself on the things that, you know, on OBS, on Streamlabs, on just using my Stream Deck. I had so many buttons that didn't work on my Stream Deck. It's like, okay, it's a year now. You have to upgrade and get yourself together, girl.
Yeah, and get with the times, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
But I think it's you know, you're talking like technical stuff, but I think it's even more of that, and I think that that's where you're going with it, is that it's like even the metas, you know, of like what's going on Twitch, what's working on Twitch, what's working on TikTok. Like at one point there was a whole thing of like 7-second TikTok clips. Everybody was just posting 7 seconds, and then TikTok's like, okay, enough of this, no more 7-second TikTok clip, which I still see 7-second TikTok clips blowing up. I don't understand, but you know, it's like,
yeah,
you're right. You know, you got to kind of like see what's going on. You got to kind of learn it for yourself, and you got to do it. Like you said even earlier, it's like, take a chance to learn the platform, take a couple weeks, a month, whatever it is. But then you got to dive into it, because you're not going to know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And maybe you're not even going to like that thing, right? And you just got to try it for yourself. Otherwise.
Yeah, there's definitely times I've been like, oh, I think I'm going to like this. And it's been like, oh my God, this is the worst decision of my life. Especially with like playing games. I think I had played, there's this one game, the Goose Stock, or I don't know. My one mod had wanted to play it with me. We were so gung ho about it. I'm like, yeah, let's play it. And we were 4 hours in, and I don't even stream for 4 hours usually. And I was like, I hate this. I hate this game. But you know, I wouldn't have ever known that before.
Yeah, it's true, and it happens. You know, like it's just part of it, right? Like there's some games that I love that I've tried streaming, and I felt like I didn't like it. I didn't like it while I was streaming it, because it's a different environment. You know, when you're just playing it on your own or playing with friends, it's one thing, or doing that thing. I mean, we always talk gaming when it comes to Twitch, but there's the art creators, there's the cooking creators, there's all kinds of creators, right? But when you're like in this example, if you're just playing a game, sometimes it's completely different when you're streaming it, right? And at one point I was playing Valorant a lot, and for people who don't know what Valorant is, it's a competitive shooter game, and it's very like strategy, very thinking, very very competitive, right?
Right.
And like there isn't really much time to like be engaged in chat at the same time, and be playing at a, you know, at a level that you want to do well at, right?
Right. It's
And so like
difficult.
you, yeah, and you kind of like take away from chat because you're like so focused, you're so in the game, and that's what it was for me, anyways, because of the way I was playing it, and because I'm like serious, I was like serious about it. I wanted to do well, right? Because I was like, oh
Right.
yeah, I want you guys to see like good gameplay, but then I wasn't really engaging with chat anymore because I was so focused on the game. So
Yeah.
it kind of you got to try the things and see what works for you, you know.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have to be doing things that you enjoy because, like we said, like you said earlier too, you know, you were playing community games, you had all kinds of viewership, and then things just start coming down. And it's like at the end of the day, the people that are going to stay and stick around are there because they like to see you being happy, doing things you
Right.
love. And, you know, it's
They
something that
like
we
you as a
say,
person.
yeah. You know, it's something that I say often, and even in these episodes that comes up often. It's like you gotta be enjoying it. Otherwise, what's the point? You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
what's the point for sure?
And I'm coming back
Um,
to that finally. I feel like I'm really glad I didn't leave. I'm really happy that I kind of picked myself up by the bootstraps. I was like, okay, girl, come on, get back to what you were doing. I love this. I love this. It's like even I think I took maybe 2 weeks off, and I was like, it's all I think about still.
yeah,
I'm off, and it's like I'm still thinking about it. So it's obviously something I still love.
yeah. It's I think for those of us that love it so much, it's very hard to not do it. Like you said, you know,
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's different, man. It's something special, and the
Mhm.
connections and the friends you make, like we were talking about, it's, I don't know, you can't really find that anywhere else, right?
No, you can't. And it's funny. I always say this to Bandy. I always say the group that we find here are almost like tailor made for us because it's like usually we don't really gravitate towards maybe like the streamers that like just aren't like us. We always gravitate towards the ones that are who usually have a similar mindset as us and really love this because they love this. And it's you can't find that in your neighborhood. You can't find that in your town. Really, it's
Yeah.
super rare and really difficult. And so when I was at TwitchCon, it was just this weird feeling of like, oh my God, all these people love the same things I love. They enjoy the same things I love. We have so much in common, and you're just someone that I talk to for 5 seconds. It's a weird
Yeah.
feeling. You feel this deep connection with them. And even though they haven't seen like my feet or my toes or anything like that, it's just like, I feel like I know you. I've known you for years.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god. Um, I think it's something special, you know. And for people that are looking to get into it, you got to try it. You got to try it.
Mhm.
If you think that it's something that you're gonna you know, vibe with and enjoy, you won't know until you try it. So even if you're doing the research, you know, it's a month in and you're doing the research to figure out what's good,
Yeah.
just start because you have no idea what connections you'll make. But speaking
Yes.
of that, what like what is something that you would do if you like, what's something you would do differently if you had to start over again? Like for new people coming in, starting up, like what would you tell them?
I would have, knowing how much I love streaming, I would have not have tried to make everything so perfect. While it is important to, get things right or like, gauge what's popular and stuff, I didn't give myself the freedom to fail at all.
Okay.
And I still have a problem with if and this is, the reason I feel like I've kept some of my viewers is and I stream so little is because of the fact that every time that I stream, I try to make it count. I try to make all the promo. I try to do everything to emphasize where, like, hey, I'm streaming. Just so you guys know, I'm streaming. Everybody knows when I'm streaming. Um, Even if it's on an off day, I can still pretty much pull numbers if I can stream for long enough. But I wish I would have given myself more just time to play around, just like try things that, that might stick to the wall that I didn't really think about before. I played Fortnite for months. For months.
Okay.
And I wish I would have done some just chatting. And at the time I
Sure.
didn't really understand, that was I didn't understand the just chatting section or how I can integrate it, but now it's like, oh, I can integrate this and make a pretty cool format and integrate Fortnite and integrate marbles and integrate like things that I actually love. And yeah, I think it's important to try new things.
Yeah,
Don't
I
be a
agree.
perfectionist.
I agree. I agree with that big time.
Mhm.
My first couple of months of streaming was definitely very I needed everything to be perfect. I needed it
Yeah.
all to go so well, the door is closed, you don't hear anything outside,
Yeah.
like if I need to like, I don't know, sneeze or something, I'm going to mute my mic, hide myself. I don't know, it was like I was if I was on TV or something, and I want everything
Right.
to be so perfect and you can't be yourself when you're
No.
trying to be like this perfect thing and nobody wants that, right?
No.
Like if we're just two buddies hanging on the couch, you don't think, what am I gonna do, go into the next room to sneeze? Bro, I'm sneezing on you, you're my best friend type of thing, you know what I mean?
Don't sneeze on your chat, Peach. Don't sneeze on your chat.
I don't I can't get the lens all dirty. But you know
That's
what I mean,
great.
you
Yeah.
can let your personality out, and if you're trying to be so perfect, so yeah.
I think they have a name for that. I think it's called a paralysis by analysis.
Yeah,
That's what they call it. Yes.
yeah,
And
thinking too
I've
much.
fallen victim of that often. I
Yeah,
still do.
definitely. I do too as well. I think it's part of it because we're analyzing ourselves, seeing what's working. We want to keep growing. We keep talking about the revolving door, how viewers, community members join, they leave, they come back, they leave.
Right.
And some people leave forever for whatever reason, right? They just might move on, no longer use Twitch, get a job, get a life, get a marriage, who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people even quit streaming or stop streaming because of family obligations and things like that. So you can't expect viewers any different.
Stick around, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just part of it that we're analyzing things all the time to see what's working, because we can't be out there in the real world grabbing them and being like, yo, come hang out, and inviting them with a phone call or something. It's
just lock your stream doors. That's what you do. Then they stay forever.
Yeah, exactly. Keep them in the basement like my mods. They're actually in my basement. That's why anyways. I have a couple questions. I have a couple of questions about. We talked a bit about. I think we touched on a couple things on some struggles and stuff like that. But I want to know from you what do you think is making your streams like so successful? Like, what is it about your TikToks? I know that your TikTok is really bringing a lot of people over, and we all say you got to be posting on the socials, you got to be out there on TikTok, especially shorts. What is it about you that you find is making your stream so successful?
I think I know my audience pretty well. I think I know what they want. Sometimes I have to fight with myself if that's what I want also. And so, well, in those aspects, like where I fell victim to the community events constantly, it was like those were things that everybody else wanted, but I lost a lot of myself. So, I think knowing my audience was a huge one. They always say that you should be posting on TikTok very often, but I was always not in agreement with that, because I started to notice that people that started to post, multiple times a day weren't getting good numbers. Mind you, it was only because the quality of the content had fallen, right? So it's like you want quality over quantity has always been my thing, and I feel like that, like when I post something on TikTok, it's has meaning. It takes me a while, or I'll look at a trend and it like really resonates with me. I'm like, oh, okay, I can think of something funny that goes with that, or I can, put something that I think will catch the audience's feeling. And catching feeling is something that I have. I'm on Starbound, and my Starbound leader is Kozo, and he has a very different way of getting his audience to feel, and I don't know how to do that, and I would love to do that. And it's, you go into his chat and it's like he'll talk to you, and then it's like you feel like he's a brother, or just someone that is, it feels like home, because he can just pull these emotions out of people, and the way he speaks can sometimes just be so deep, and I'm just like, I want that. I want to be able to make people feel that way. How do
Yeah.
I do that? So in that aspect is why I try to wait to post, to make, like, even I feel like my Twitter is actually probably one of my most successful platforms, and it's because when I tweet, I'm trying to lately, like, gauge reactions from people, and I think there are some things that I'm like, oh, I think this will gauge reaction, and then all of a sudden, like, a random tweet will blow up, and I'm like, okay, I was right on that one. But then there's one that doesn't blow up, and I get 10 likes on it, and I'm like, why didn't that one go as planned?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's not even about what you did. Sometimes it just
Yeah.
hits
Exactly.
weird algorithm stuff. You know,
Right.
you can have
Right.
all the right pieces to it, and it still won't go. You know, so
Exactly.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. I think that's a big thing. You know, and even with going viral and virality in general, it's all about emotions and the feelings. You
Yeah.
know, like making people laugh or making people feel like sad or feel heard, feel whatever it is, right? Like
Right.
I think that for people out there that are posting on TikTok, making videos, not informative stuff, you know, like stuff that I'm doing. I'm not really gonna make you cry with my. I mean, you might cry in my OBS guide video, you know, when you're trying to figure out OBS. You might start
No,
crying,
no,
but
no. But that's
that's
a
not
different
my
kind of
fault, you know.
content, and that's still useful and informative and things that
Right.
people need.
Yeah, for sure, you know, but when you're trying to make a video, make something go viral, I think it's the emotion, right?
Mhm.
And I think might be missed by some people
Mhm.
that are not seeing the kind of numbers that they're looking for. So
Right. Um,
it's cool to hear it from you that that's working, you know.
um, yeah, it's something I didn't notice till recently, and, I was starting to ask myself those questions as to, okay, why are some things working out? Why aren't some other things, doing the same? And
Yeah,
it's always goes back to, okay, people can relate to this, like, on an exponential level. People are curious. People can, feel something deep. It makes them sad or it makes them happy, and those are the things that always hit. And I'm like, okay, interesting, okay. And it's just
yeah,
another note I have in like a keep in my head. It's like, before I post, what exactly is this going to achieve, right? At
yeah,
the end of the day, I want to leave something behind when it comes to, like, streaming and stuff. I say, as much as I have burnout and stuff, I always say, I'll probably should be streaming till I'm an old lady, um, in some aspect or another.
yeah.
Um, but, I want to also be able to keep an audience for that amount of time. And I'm hoping that, people go on me on my life journey.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, if you continue, I mean, there'll be people that'll be there. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Um, do you think that we touched on something, and I want to. I think that we can. I think there's value in going into it more.
Mhm.
Um, I think I might have lost it actually.
No, it's fine. No worries.
It's fine. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
If it does come back. Um, we're talking about Kozo and
Yeah.
how, you know, he's kind of like a streamer that you look up to. Is there anybody
Right.
else on Twitch, or I don't know, even a TikToker or YouTuber, content creator in general, that you look up to?
Um, on a similar effect, I think I always say BB Jess. I think just technically she is someone who just does things right. And I think a lot of people can, relate to her in ways. She carries a lot of things with grace. The things that that can, I don't know, troubles that she comes across, she thinks in ways that I can really relate to. And um she's just someone that I really, really value in the space, and I think has a strong voice, and I hope to one day even be a fraction of that.
Yeah, she's definitely a beast in her own
Yeah,
right, you know.
yeah.
And the things that she's done, she's definitely the production value is on a whole other level with her,
Right.
how many cameras and her whole setup. Definitely, just doing something different, right? And not the same old usual stuff. She knows how to pull the people and keep them in, right? So
Right.
definitely something to be learned there. She's an awesome streamer for sure.
For sure.
I love that. What's next for Sweets? What's coming up? I know that you did tweet about potentially, or is it official, the IRL streaming out of Japan. Tell us about that.
So this has always been, I've had like a streaming bucket list of things I've always wanted to do. Most of them were cosplays, but on top of my list was always Japan. I went to Japan in 2018 and I had a really good time and it changed my life. And I'm like, if I could do this for stream, this would be everything that I've ever loved in one. I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but in one stream and in it's something I am gunning to do. I really want to do that more than anything.
That.
So yes, I am planning a Japan extravaganza for next year. We're going to start talking about that in January.
Very cool. Are we going to see some Sailor Moon cafe, I don't know, amusement parks?
You know what? That actually gives me some ideas. Maybe I'll have chat, send me some places or things they want me to do. I've seen streamers where chat has made them like wear weird costumes to certain places.
Oh God.
Obviously, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but
yeah,
but you know.
Sure. I know that there's like a maid cafe or something where everybody's like dressed like as a maid or something. I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah, apparently those are like they're more considered like gentlemen's clubs. Apparently.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah. So like I don't know if I get it.
It looked like a normal restaurant where everybody's just like a maid. I don't know. What do I know?
It's different culturally there. It's like supposed to be more like a gentleman's club thing, and I didn't know that either until I went there, and it was like all these like men in business suits going in there, and you're like, where are they going? And and then like someone tells you and you're like, oh, I understand now.
All right, well then you need to report back and let us know what the real when you go again. So why did you go in the first place? How come you went back in 2018? What was the
my dad and I just wanted to go. It was something that I wanted to do since I was a kid, and that trip was just, I can't explain it. Something like I took something home with me from there. I don't know. I talk about it constantly and people probably get annoyed at me all the time that I'm just like, when I was in Japan, I did this and this. And it's like, they're probably shut up.
I doubt it. Well, it's so cool. Not everybody gets a chance to go to Japan. I mean, it's, other side of the world, right?
Yeah, it felt just very different. Everything on every corner just felt new and interesting and things I've never seen before. And I don't know, I want to go back and I've been trying to since then. And I'm like, okay, if I can make this a goal for next year, I can write it down on my little board. Then if I write it down, I'm pretty sure I can make it happen.
Definitely. I love that. You got to manifest it. You got to put it on the vision board and make it happen. And definitely getting some help from chat. So anybody that wants to see Sweets travel the streets of Japan, go go give her some ideas, send her some love, and we'll see you in Japan. When's the plan? What's the time frame for
hopefully
all this?
By the end of next year, beginning of 2024. We're gonna see. I have to see how I really need to see what exactly. I have to map everything out. And I want to get chat involved. So I just want to see like if they have places they want to recommend. I want to be there to be like, okay, yeah, I could do that, or we can vote on it. I just want to make it super interactive with chat and make it feel like they're with me.
I love that. Well, it sounds like that's what you want to do, is like you went there and you're like, I want to take chat with me. So I think it makes sense for you to ask, and make them feel involved of like what's going on. But Japan more than we do, so you gotta show us around too and show us your favorite spots and stuff. That'll be super fun. I'm looking forward to that. That's super cool.
Thank you.
That's very, very cool. I have a couple last questions for Sweets, but I want to open up Q&A to the chat. So if you guys have any questions for Sweets or for myself related to our streaming journeys, streaming in general, content creation, things like that, feel free to ask away, and we'll pick and choose from the chat. So chat is open. Feel free to ask away. Um, I know we kind of talked a little bit about like for new streamers, what they should do. But now at the point that you're at the success that you're at, like what are some goals that streamers at your level of success should be looking for and looking to work towards? Like everybody wants to hit partner as soon as they hit affiliate, but we kind of know it's like not really achievable, right?
No, especially right now. There's a lot of viewership dip off from just COVID in general, and people, kind of moving on with their lives a little.
Yeah.
Um, it's going to be difficult to hit those numbers again. So one thing I think that was always something that I found success with is revamping things every so often. I'm just a crazy person, and after a few months, I'm like, I need to change my stream. Um, and it just eats at me until I change things around. And so how I fix that more is just like doing seasonal things and trying to, spruce things up a bit. But it can
Yeah.
get expensive. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, just understanding that that can changing is good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that we got to change things up sometimes. Like,
Hmm.
I think that it's kind of a balance between that familiarity, that habit, that routine that people fall into. Like, I'm going to Sweets to stream,
Yeah.
every Sunday, Monday night, we're coming to hang out whenever it is, right? And it's like you're in that routine, right? Or someone who streams every single day, for example, it's like every night, that's where I go to, or while I'm working, that's the stream I pull up, right? And you kind of get into this routine. But I think keeping it interesting and always trying to switch things up a little bit here and there, I think it's important.
Absolutely.
I think it's important just to, I don't know, have something different. You change, you evolve
Yeah.
as a person. So
I guess I
I
get
think,
very fickle, so I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
like I'm done with this now. So what do I do? I feel like I'm growing and moving on, and I just feel like
yeah,
some people get really stuck in. I've gone to people's streams for years now, and it's like I don't think you've changed anything, but that's not a bad thing if that's they feel like that's what people come for, and it's
right.
like that's their comfort and home.
Hmm.
But for me, that's just not the way I do things. I have to be constantly changing things, and it's probably not the best thing, but for my pocket, but
Hey, well, I mean, if that's something that you love, like there's so many people that I see that it's like, I bought this huge setup and I got this crazy, all these monitors and PC, and it's like, but you're not even a content creator yet. But it doesn't
yeah,
matter, like if you love that, if that's your hobby, like you're not doing, anything else. There's people that are playing, I don't know, football or hockey and spending all kinds of money on equipment. No one bats an eye, but why can't I
yeah,
buy a couple $1,000s of, gaming gear
right,
and deck out my room and it looks cool, So,
exactly. Hmm.
but I think that if you're not seeing growth in the way that you want to, I think change is okay. I think change makes sense. And if you
Right,
are seeing the growth and you're not changing, I think that that's okay too, because
right.
changing potentially could bring
Could
you
be
more
dangerous.
or
Yes,
it could be dangerous.
yes.
Like at the end of the day, I think what your stream room looks like is not going to make or break your stream, right?
No.
I think it's fun to deck it out and add some fun, the cute things, and
Hmm.
the lights and whatever it is. Like I got all these little things behind me, it's just
Right.
like these are all like little moments of my stream, and I got the Montreal Expos here, I got like the Zelda and all that stuff, and it's all like
Yeah,
little moments of the history of my stream, right? I play the guitar on stream sometimes, so I got it up in the
I
back.
didn't know
So
that. That's awesome.
yeah, so it's I think that at the end of the day, for people listening to me, like I gotta get a cool setup. At the end of the
No,
day,
no, no.
there's
Yeah,
no
that's not
cam
what I mean at all.
streamers. Yeah,
Yeah,
like there's no cam streamers that are more successful than all of Twitch
yeah.
combined, right?
Even if
So
it's just like something tiny, like a little light or something, it's like that's something I feel like is a change. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what's the next goal for you? What are you working towards? What's the next? Of course, the
I'm
IRL Japan stream, but
Yes,
in
I
terms
am.
of stats and
Oh,
content.
on stats. Okay.
Well,
Uh,
Twitch in terms of TikTok and what are your goals?
I'm want to get to 20K on TikTok. I'm hoping to get back up to 50 average viewers by the end of next year, middle of the year. It's going to take a lot of work. And I'm going to need to change my content around, niche down a bit, which I have some ideas. I
Cool.
really love kind of like the darker side of like documentaries and paranormal and like true crime things. I would love to delve into that kind of thing. I just would need to figure out a format for that. I'm starting to notice that the things that I'm looking outside of stream that like really make me excited and engage are something that I want, are things that I want to bring into stream also. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think it'll be fun.
Definitely. It's important to do that. You got to.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know about, the streamer behind behind the scenes,
Yeah.
You got to for sure. Cool,
Yes.
sweets. We got some questions in chat.
Okay.
I got one here asking about your microphone. Is it a custom paint job? What microphone is that?
No, so this is the HyperX Quadcast S. I think Quadcast S. They just came out with Quadcast S. They just came out with white. I bought this at TwitchCon on sale. It's usually about $120, $130. I got it on sale at TwitchCon for $80. So I don't know if you're going to want to wait till next year, but you'll get it for a pretty decent deal.
Nice. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays too sometimes. Well, yes. Black Friday's done now, but sometimes the holidays. HyperX usually does some good sales. I've worked with them in the past. I can't remember exactly when they have like a yearly crazy flash sale on a lot of their products. I can't remember off the top of my head. I worked with them earlier this year to do it, so it might be coming up in the spring if you guys want the same mic as Sweets. I got a question in the chat from Nonsense Socks asking, what has been your proudest moment with streaming?
Oh, okay. I think I cried at this one, which it wasn't even on Twitch, which is ironic. I was streaming on TikTok, and the only thing I've ever wanted to do was fill a Fortnite lobby. I've been playing it since 2018, 2017. Okay. And like my dream was to always like have a Fortnite lobby full of people that came to see me. And then one day,
how many people is full?
150.
Wow.
So we were hitting some good numbers on TikTok, and I like randomly said, I'm like, oh, we're at 80 people in the lobby. If we get, a certain amount, we can hit my like goal of filling a lobby. And then Locke was there, which was funny. And then all of a sudden people started like liking and sharing because I guess they wanted to help me out. We ended up getting, I think, 1,400 people just viewing. And then wow. I had over 100 people in the lobby. And then like seeing it actually say that it was full, like brought me to tears. And I was like, someone told me that was the dumbest thing in the world. And I was like, you don't understand. Like, this is what I've been wanting to do. I've been playing this game forever. And like to actually fill a lobby was insane. It was wow. Madness.
That's amazing. Yeah, I thought it was 100 people, but
no,
150.
It's like 150, 100. I think for a custom, yeah.
That's huge. Getting all those people in there.
It was. Yeah,
that's the dream. I don't know who's saying like that's so weird.
I don't think it was someone who was a gamer or a streamer. Okay. So I think they were just like, wow. They said if that was one of your bucket list items, you need better goals or something like that. And I was like, well,
the kind of person that says who watches other people play games.
Exactly.
Okay, buddy, go back to watching football.
Right. Exactly. Go back to that's perfect. Go back to watching football.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Cool. Thanks for the question, Socks. I love that.
I love that. Thank you.
Like, good for you, Sweet. Seriously, like, good job. Kudos. Like, I think having goals and hitting them is huge. And having goals that are like that type of goal is something that, filling a lobby, it's like it's like an achievable thing that you can hit, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is that people need to have goals. You need to have goals. You need to put it out there. You need to share it with people, and you need to let like the world know, the universe know. And even if your goal is to hit, example, 100 viewers, and you hit 70, like you have 70 viewers, right?
It's amazing.
Whereas if your goal was 50, you're only gonna have 40, right? So you kind of gotta like shoot for the stars a little bit, go a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And go for it. Like when you were doing community nights with Fortnite, what was your like average lobby size?
My average lobby size was never that. Like it was still around like 20-30s, maybe if on a
There you
lucky
go.
day. Fall Guys was a lot different. Tons of people have Fall Guys, so like you'd get like a lot of people for that. But Fortnite
Sure.
is just difficult to fill a lobby with because a lot of people don't like the game or think it's for kids, and so it can
Right.
be difficult. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So there you go. You know, the real life example to see that you shoot for the stars and you'll make
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Very
Just
cool.
keep trying.
Good job, sweets.
Mhm.
We got another question in chat from PT Blue asking, "What was your most difficult moment with streaming?"
Um, Probably what I just went through. I think it was the fact that you're up so high and then you come down and you're like, okay, how do I fix this? Or just how do I pick myself up from this? Because it's a huge ego. Like it kills your ego, to be completely honest. It sucks. Um, and it's you have to understand that it's not really about you. You can't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
In some ways it is when it comes to, I made some poor decisions when it came to focusing on community focused games and then, completely alienating myself. But yeah, I think it's been a battle getting my mind state back and trying to remind myself that I do really love streaming. And some people after they find a dip, they leave. And I'm like, I don't want to be that. I love this too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just okay, taking a step back, being okay with where I'm at. And that's when you're okay with where you're at is when you'll find the most success, I feel like, because you're your genuine self. You're your
Yeah.
genuine self and people are like, I can see that. And people like honesty, you know?
True. Very true.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it kind of comes full circle of what we were talking about throughout the stream, you know.
Yeah.
I think I want to touch on a point here is for people out there. We talked about you said that you wanted to just look at your stats kind of like a once a month as an
Yeah.
average overall. I think that is the smartest thing to do is turn off all the numbers, turn off all the stats, turn everything off. I know it's so hard not to look like you want to look at your viewership during the streams. You want to
Yeah.
see how you're doing, and we're so ingrained with the numbers. Like, how is this person doing? How are we doing? You know, and you hear about everybody it's just the numbers, how many followers you have on Instagram, how many this that, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's part of our culture to be like, you're only something if you have the numbers, right? And it's, yes, you know, you need the numbers and you're growing and you're looking at it, it's the analysis, but you need to turn that off so you can let yourself out and you can show your personality. You could be
Right.
yourself and you could do your thing, because when you're caught up in the numbers, it destroys you, you know. And
It becomes
you can't
very
have that.
artificial. Very
Yeah.
artificial.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe you're starting to do stuff just like you said, Sweets. Like maybe you're starting to do stuff that it's something that you don't want to do, but you just want to do it for the numbers. And at the end of
Yeah.
the day, I mean, are you really aligned with your original goal anymore? You know, are you still doing the thing that you set out to do? It's like, think about that, guys. You know, when you're going out there creating content, are you creating it for the algorithm, or are you creating it for your community, for your audience, for people that are watching it, right? You got to just stop. It's so tough. It's so tough, especially when you hit high views. If you post on TikTok and you get 2,000-3,000, and you post and you get 200-300 for a few days, few weeks, or whatever it is, it's like, you can't ride those highs and you can't ride those lows. Just keep going through. Just keep powering through. You know, there's 200 views on TikTok is 200 more views than you didn't have before. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly.
So even if it's 200, if 1 or 2 or 3 of those people come over to your Twitch and you do that every day, every week, you're growing, right?
Yeah.
So don't think that just because you're not hitting 2,000 or 5,000, 10,000, that you're not doing well, right?
Right.
It's such a silly numbers game, and it's so ingrained as part of like the social media culture. But you have to remove yourself as much as possible, you know?
Yeah, it's a tough mind game. Trust me.
Yeah.
I when I wasn't a streamer, I was like, I don't understand what burnout is. Like, if I had numbers like that, I don't understand. I just wouldn't understand not being able to post something. It is so real. It's something that actually happens. And I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
so bad now for being like, what is burnout? Burnout? Okay.
Yeah. And it's true, and it happens, and I'm sorry to hear that, you were kind of feeling that. What's something that you kind of do to help you kind of get out of that burnout? Is there, like, do you completely log off of Twitch for a while? Do you get off the social medias? Like,
Yeah.
what's the kind of thing that you do?
I wait till I try to notice what things are triggering me feeling that way. So it's like, again, I think I've talked to you a little bit about this. I have a really bad anxiety with just the amount of messages I get. I get a decent amount of messages. I'll sometimes wake up to Instagram to 10 messages and I'm like I can't open this. Like I'm gonna throw up. Like
Jeez. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like, and that 10 might not be a lot to people. To me, I'm like, if I miss something, if you know, it almost makes me not want to post because they usually will send me messages after I post something, which is great. It's a good thing to have, but I feel so overwhelmed. So it's like understanding, okay, that I can't open up today. I can't open up my messages today. Like I just can't do it.
sure,
My
yeah,
mentals will not let me do it. So I'm gonna wait for a specific time, a specific day, and then we're gonna go back and be like, can I open this today? I can. I can. And then let everybody know, listen, this is what's going on. You don't want to just like leave people on red. That's not really the best thing, especially for if you want to, have connections and genuine friendships with people.
for sure.
Please don't leave them on red. I've done it. It's not a good thing. I don't ever feel proud of doing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, just making sure that those little triggers for yourself and you're like, I don't like this. I hate this actually. So I'm going to try to figure out a different way to go about making myself feel comfortable with this. If it's something that it needs, like, I can't just ignore messages for the rest of my life. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's something I have to, it's an inevitable thing I have to, interact with. So, yeah, just understanding those things for yourself, and tackle them one at a time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Very true. I think that there's a time and place, for those kinds of messages. I'm so curious about those messages. Like, why are people not commenting on your posts? Or why are they messaging you,
Girls
instead,
get a little different,
you know?
a bit different messages than I think you would get. So like, I think there's some
Sure.
people that are, trying to build something, and you have to if I see that, I'm usually like, yeah, that's not what I'm here for, kind of thing. But
Right.
it's also like people don't take that very nicely either when you're like, hey, no, that's not what I'm here for. And like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like a constant battle of like trying to navigate people's emotions almost.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like that can even contribute to the burnout itself because
Yeah.
you're not focusing on you anymore. You're worrying
Hmm.
about them. You're trying to grow a community. You're trying to engage. You're trying to connect with people.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, you don't want to leave them on red.
Right.
But
And it kind of makes me feel bad because then it starts to feel like if people are asking me, kind of inappropriate things, it's like, oh, well, are you actually here because you like me, or is it like for something else? And so that
right.
starts to play like a mind game with me.
Yeah. 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 For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, um sorry that you get that, and I'm sure that
Happens to a lot of
it's a
girls.
standard thing. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Unfortunately, but like for me, in those situations, like when I've gotten messages, people in DMs, I get all kinds of stuff. There's
Yeah.
anyways, so I get it. I think that closing down places to DM and to have access to reach you privately would be something to look at for people out there that
Yeah.
might be struggling with this type of stuff too. And I see it very, very often where you can't really DM creators except in like one specific place, or you got to email them. Like, people are not really going to go out of their way to email. Like, it's a little bit of a process. They got to give away like their private stuff, whereas an
Hey,
Insta DM or a Twitter DM, it's a little bit easier. Just be like, hey, slide into the DMs. It's so like natural, right? But sending an
yeah.
email or trying to find your Discord and all that could be a little bit of a bit more work, and could maybe help curb some of these weird messages coming through.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I need to figure out some routes to that, and I just haven't gone about that because it's just I do I think I'll miss. I feel bad because there are people that I do message, and it's I feel like I'm taking opportunities away from them, or
Sure.
just interactions with them. So for me, it's this double edged sword of, okay, I may have my privacy now, but there's people that I really enjoy talking to, and it's like I don't get to talk to them as much anymore. So it's
Right.
just trying to figure out where that fits.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of, the creators that have thousands of comments that can't get to all of them. I'm
Yeah.
sure they get all kinds of DMs and stuff and they can't get to them, right? So there is got to be a point where things are kind of turned off or you're just not responding anymore. It's just part of it because you're growing and so
Right.
successful. And what I see a lot of people do is saying like, that they'll only answer the comments of the first half hour of posting something.
Oh, that's actually a good
Right.
idea.
So then it's like, hey, get out of my DMs, go into my comments, start messaging
Yeah.
me there. And
Oh,
like whatever you say has got to be public. Right.
right.
So there's no more like that weird private interaction, maybe parasocial stuff that's going on. And it's a
Right.
little bit more public. And then it's like, all right, I'm responding to everybody in the next half hour. Like, here's your chance to interact with me. Or you can come to my Twitch stream where I'm live for like 3-4 hours and we can chat. Like, let's
Good
get
idea,
that
actually.
conversation going instead,
All right, Peach, I'm gonna write
yeah.
that down.
I got you. Cool. Cool. I'm glad that we spoke about that because I think a lot of people might struggle with that, and it might be something that people don't really bring up, don't know how to bring up, or don't know who to
Right.
talk to. So hoping that helps some of you guys out there watching or listening. We got a funny question from Jeff. What's the worst Bean Boozle flavor? Sweets. I think
Liver
that one's
and
for you.
onions.
Ew.
Liver and onions
Gross.
is the worst. I don't know what they put in that bean. Jeff, also hello. Yeah, liver and onions is the worst.
Gross.
It's bad. My dog ate a spicy bean boozle the other day.
Oh boy.
He sneezed a few times, but then he was fine.
Is that safe for
Listen,
dogs?
I don't know. He's fine. I mean, he was
For
gone
now.
by the time I tried to get it out of his mouth. So
Oh god. Well, there's a vet. We got a vet in chat, so if you need any help, Sweets, we'll send her over.
Thank you. I'll read the ingredients.
Cool. We got another question. Do you guys have any advice on growing on Twitch using social media? I haven't had much success with TikTok.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because that's where I have most of my following mostly comes from TikTok. Another place I do have certain success with is Twitter, but like I said before, it's very hit or miss. It's trying to create tweets that resonate with people, and sometimes they miss and sometimes they're great. But that's a tough one. Let me think about that one a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that growing on Twitch using social media is a must. I'm not going to say that there's no discoverability on Twitch, because there is some discoverability on Twitch. There's ways around it. There's things that you could do. You could stream in lower, less popular categories. If it's something that you enjoy, don't play games that you don't enjoy. But you can grow that way. I see it, every so often. And there's also the recommended. Twitch is working on discoverability, so that is a thing. But going out on social media like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and Twitter even as well, you are going to get more eyes on you, which could lead over to your Twitch. What I would recommend, or not what I would recommend, what I've seen in terms of numbers is usually around like a 10% or so. There's always like this magic 10% number. Like you'll get 10% engagement is like the average, right? So let's say you get 200 views, you're gonna get 20 likes, right? And out of those 200 views, you go get 20 likes, maybe you're gonna get like 2 comments, right? There's always like a 10% trickle down, and from your following, there's like a 10% of those that might check out your Twitch, right? And then the 10% of those that check out your Twitch are actually gonna come into your chat. So the numbers gotta kind of start going up quite a bit for you to start seeing anything. So if you notice that you're getting only a couple hundred views, you only have a couple hundred followers, it might follow that pattern that you're not going to see a lot of movement over onto your Twitch.
I'd actually be sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Finish. I'd actually be curious to see what exactly like if he was open to it at some point, not today, but at some point. To see what his TikTok looks like.
Yeah.
I think if you can give some tips to that, but I think that as long as you're posting within your niche. One tip I did want to give to people who want to be on TikTok. When I post something, I have like a little small family of people that share my like video, and that will boost it up for the first hour or so, and that usually does the trick. But I don't think a lot of people utilize that. I think I had told a few others, and like they'll send me things and then they usually fall off. But sharing is super important in the first hour, and comments. If you have a few people that like family members, just if they can make a TikTok account to just comment on one of your things. It's
Yeah.
it's small, but it does a huge difference in that first hour, I noticed. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but also be sure you're posting in your niche. You don't want to be posting, a painting video here and then all of a sudden you're posting Warzone clips. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And to talk about that, Sweets, like that's something that I wanted to start bringing over to my Twitch stream, is doing like live reviews of TikTok accounts, of a stream channels, and just to help you guys more in a live fashion. Because giving this kind of advice, like there's only so much we could do without really seeing what you're doing, or maybe something that you're doing wrong. But if we can
right.
open it up live, then we can actually take a look, right? But absolutely, you need to have a niche. You have to have, you need to be providing value within that niche, right? If you're posting cooking cooking stuff and painting stuff and Warzone stuff, it's like all over the place. It doesn't really mesh, right? There has to be a singular message, a singular value that you're sharing. Either you're hilarious, or you're really good at the game, and you're teaching things, whatever it is, or you're just sharing like your journey. There's something that kind of aligns and that makes sense.
Right.
It really, really depends on what you're doing. My like top tips are: get a couple of hashtags, 6 to 8 hashtags, and keep them the same for all the videos that you're going to post. You could change 1 or 2 if it just kind of goes with your content. What that helps you to do is stick within that niche, because now you can't really go out of it because you got to stick within those hashtags. So now you're saying, does this clip match with those hashtags, and you post in it, right? And it kind of takes a little bit of time for the algorithm to kick in and say, okay, I'm going to feed this to the right people. If you're putting like hashtag FYP, hashtag, for you and all those things, you're sending it out to all kinds of people. And now when you market to everybody, you sell to nobody. And now you're not getting anything, because people that care about cooking and cleaning are watching your Warzone clips and they're like, bro, what is this? And they're just going to skip. And it's not anything bad. The video might be amazing. It's just going to the wrong people. So there's a lot of factors in there. I think if you're providing value and trying to make content for someone, that's going to go a long way than just trying to like hack an algorithm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully that
Very
helps
good.
you guys.
No, I think that was extremely helpful. The hashtag thing is definitely something I don't really divert from my hashtags at all. It's very rare that I do.
Yeah, I think that's something I see often of a mistake that a lot of people are doing, is just trying to see what sticks by posting everywhere. And it's like the wheels can't turn if you're just trying to go in all different directions, right? It doesn't make sense. And you are kind of fighting an algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Not fighting with it, but stop fighting with it. Maybe work with it. Do that for a little while, a couple of weeks, and see where that goes.
Manipulate it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're not seeing the results at that point, then maybe you got to revise the content, take a look at it, and see if it's actually valuable, and just keep revising, right?
Exactly.
That's it. Absolutely. If there's any other questions in chat, now is your time to ask. Let us know if you got any questions for Sweets or myself. Like I said, about our streaming journey or about streaming content creation tips and stuff like that, we'll be happy to answer. Is there anything from you, Sweets, that that you'd like to share? Is there anything that you don't think that we've touched on that could really send a message to people out there listening?
No, I think we're good. I think I don't have anything. No, I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, Good.
this was great. I had a
Cool.
lot of fun on here. Thank you for inviting me.
Me too. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you guys are not following Sweets, we'll put the links down below in the description of the video, and also here live in the Twitch chat. So please go and follow Sweets. Almost at 4K on Twitch. And we'll get another a cake stream, a cake celebration. I don't know. Maybe this time she'll pop out of a cake instead of putting it in her face.
That's
or
an
something.
idea.
There you go. But yeah, guys, go and check out Sweets, and also support her in her journey to Japan. That sounds kind of cool. I like that.
Yes, I like it.
If you guys have ever been to Japan or have seen stuff in Japan, Sweets is looking for ideas, recommendations. So please go and give her some love, and let her know what you want to see her doing IRL in Japan in 2023. Cool. Sweets, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being part of this. I really, really appreciate you and your time. Good luck with streaming. Good luck with the journey. And we'll have you on again in the future and see how far you've come.
All right.
Maybe from Japan.
Maybe from Japan. That would be cool, right?
That'd be very cool.
All right.
Cool, Sweets. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye.